Hello and welcome back to my April wrap-up, where we're going to talk about all the books I read in April, which actually turned out to be quite a few books, which I was really impressed with and really proud about. We're going to go through them from my children's books I read with my little sister, which we read throughout the month, and so we don't read 4 children's books, then we just stop reading. It's a very nice type of thing. It just matters how many we can get through. And we tend to read 2 chapters a night. We've been bumping up a little because the chapter's going by so fast. It's like 3 or 4. We also are reading earlier than normal, so all these things are possibilities. But we read the next 4 Magic Treehouse books, which are, as stated, I'm tired of reading these titles: Lunch at Lunchtime, Polar Bear's Best Bedtimes, Vacation Under the Volcano, and finally, Days of the Dragon King. Those were the first 4 books I read. It tends to be every month the first book I read is the book that we finish, because we are always at the very end of the month before. But also, you're going to see that I didn't really read books that were on my TBR. There was a Yeah, I'm just doing me. So we have Illuminated by Jay Kristoff and Amy Crofton, which I finished the very end of the month on the 2nd. I gave 3 out of 5 stars. This follows 2 characters who are stuck up in space, and some conspiracy stuff goes on. It's a multimedia thing, but is it though? I don't really know how much I enjoy saying exactly what this is, because I didn't really feel like the multimedia was truly there. It felt very like I was involved. It was pretty fast to read. I did wait till the last minute to finish the audiobook with it. But it's a lot of dialogue. A lot of where I didn't have to pay attention to what I was reading. I didn't really need the book, except for mostly towards the end of the novel, the darker pages, or the pages that you really need to have the book on hand. And so I felt kind of gypped. I didn't really like it. I thought the characters were fine. I thought the world building was fine. Conspiracy stuff was kind of cool. It did end up making me cry once at the very beginning, because it was such a stark, realism thing that I couldn't really explain to you unless you were there. So, yeah, that's my opinion on Illuminated by Jay Kristoff. The next book I read, I have a whole blog for, and that is my book, Broken Boys, which I wrote in the months of last May to the current month. I tabbed the shit out of it. I have a whole video talking about my opinions, my thoughts and stuff. I gave this between a 3.5 and a 4 star. There's a lot of things that I thought I could have done better, which I'm going to try to be doing better as we do our rewrites and stuff. But I have a whole video talking about my book writing in general, and we'll talk more about my experiences this month in re-outlining and the difficulties I'm going through, and a different video coming up in the near future. So that's my opinion on Broken Boys. Then I picked up Night Film, which I finished in between the readathons and stuff, but I'm just going to mention it here. Night Film is by Mr. Pesky. This follows a horror director and his daughter. His daughter ends up dying. I'm pretty sure he's already died by in the beginning of the book. And this group of people who are obsessed with this horror director ends up trying to find the killer, and we go on a huge thing. This is also another multimedia where it's kind of told in pictures and online media and stuff. I really like it. It gave me a huge inspiration for my Project Rampage story, which I do hope to pick back up at some point in the near future within the next few years or so. So yeah, I don't really know if I could pick it up in 2020 since I have a few other projects I'm working on. So, and then we're going to go into my 2 readathons I did partake in. One of them does have a vlog. The other one, the vlog footage got ruined for. The first one is the Reading Rush. I'm talking very fast. I'm super sorry. But yeah, so we have Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Glutton for Punishment. I will link all these vlogs down below if I remember to. This follows Buffy while she's in high school, and this follows a tiger who is kinda for home ec, is what it says. You know, and they assume it's extra credit, cakewalk, but they aren't. That isn't right. It's 40 pages long. It was fun. I realized it was issue 3 out of 4. So yeah, it's also $10. I want to mention that's what it says. Maybe it's a limited run, but I don't really think I'd pay $10 for this. I don't believe the person who bought that for me paid $10 for that, and that is good. The other book that I read for Buffy the Vampire Slayer that weekend was Ominous Tales, in which I gave this 3.5 stars. I gave that 3 stars, by the way. I gave this 3.5 stars, and that is simply because there's only 5 tales in here, which, in retrospect, should be more like a 2.5. But the tales are so good, like, the ones that I recommend are so well done for Buffy that, like, it just outshines, and that, like, it's a 3 out of 5 stars. It's amazing. I love it to death. I really, really do enjoy them. But everything else around the stories, I didn't really like. There's a very big Nazi point in here, and I don't really understand. I mean, I did a thing with Nazis for Church of Samuel, and it backfired. I actually ended up had to cutting it out. But I don't really think it's something we should play with. I don't know. I have mixed feelings on it. I do understand that was a time in Buffy and the Slayers and the vampires have been around for generations and generations, and so they would obviously have lived through the Nazis, but I have this thing about it. It is what it is. Alright. The next book we picked up was one of my favorite books of all time. It's The Sweet Kind of Poison by Kay Weismer. I own this both digitally and physically. I finally tapped up the shit out of this copy as well while I read it. This will be getting its full review over it. I'm finding it very hard to review poetry in particular, but it will have its own review because I think it's amazing and I think everybody should read it. That'll be coming out more with the anti-virginity pack and stuff, which I'll get to in my May TBR, which is super duper long. I don't know if you guys can see it. No, you can. It's right there. And it's huge. It's gigantic. It's absolutely gigantic. But yeah. This is a own voice story about a very tumultuous relationship and the pain that you go through and having to rebuild yourself. It's beautiful. It makes me cry. I get something new out of it every time. And it's always fun to message her and say what I've got new out of it. And we always have like a little conversation about it because it's just really good. And, you know, as an author, I'm pretty sure she feels really happy that after 7 times of reading it, I'm still finding new messages and still reading between the lines, and it still hits me the same. I also, every single time, get more and more people to buy it, and I think that helps her, so it makes me happy. Then I picked up Land of the Stories by Chris Coffer, which is book 1, which is called The Wishing Spell. This follows Alex and Connor after their dad dies. They have to move out of their house into a smaller house. Their grandma comes and gives them a book that they used to read, and, yeah, and they get changed into this world. I didn't like the talk on fairy tales. If you guys do not know, I spent a whole entire... I talk about this a lot in the Reading Rush vlog, so I'm only going to mention it here. But I did do a whole semester talking about fairy tales in college. Another day. But for my first year of college, I did take a whole course on... what is it called? Like fairy tales, yeah, in general. Grimm's fairy tales and things like that, and how fairy tales can be interpreted any type of way. There is not a specific way. This book is, one, trying to turn that on its head and saying fairy tales can be interpreted any type of way, but also homing in on the fact that fairy tales are one and only. And there's a lot of talk about fairy tales I just did not enjoy. I thought elements of the story is really good, but overall, I wouldn't recommend that much. Alright, we have 3 books to talk about that will be popping up over here on the screen, so let's go through those. Starting with The Guy on the Right, which I read for a month, and also something else, Secrets. I'll get more into that probably in the upcoming months. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Either way, we'll see. But this is about a guy named Theo who wants to lose his virginity. He just got out of a horrible relationship. But his best friend Troy ends up getting this very feisty girl, and he doesn't end up liking it. Honestly, I would count it as, like, not very consensual. So, started with problems. Also, this book wasn't gay, and I keep reading gay literature, like, gay, like, romance literature, and maybe that's the reason why I thought it was supposed to be gay, but, like, the narrator, maybe it's the narrator. Also, it could be the fact the narrator is fed up. All these are possibilities, but I truly thought the narrator, like, was going to play, like, this character was going to be gay. And they ended up with one. And a very, very steamy woman. Oh my god, was their sex scenes graphic. They don't happen until towards the end. Just forewarned. But they were graphic. Either way, it's fine. It was a 3.5 out of 5 stars. It was okay. It wasn't anything special, one would say. Book club pick, or the smut pick of the weekend, which was Theirs for the Night, which was an 80-page, like, smutty, super duper smutty threesome book. It's about 2 best friends who ends up getting a girl to go home with them for the night, and yeah, my only issue for this, I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Why I didn't get a 5 is because it wasn't vampires. I'm not telling you what they are, but it's not vampires, and I was real disappointed because, like, it would have been better if they were vampires, and that's my opinion on that book. I can't really talk about it very much. Just know that if you're really into, like, really, really, really smutty things, this is exactly where you need to be. The next one we're going to talk about is The 7 Husbands, the last one, I mean. It's The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which I just finished. like 2 nights ago, and it's beautiful. It's my second reread. I read it back in 2018, and this is a 5 out of 5 star read, to the point where I'm like, I just want to reread, or I want to go through all of Taylor Jenkins' read repertoire. If you guys do not know, in the coming up months, we're going to be talking about Karen Slaughter and Riley Sagar. After I read Riley Sagar's newest release, we're going to rank them and talk about them in full depth and with my opinions and so far. Karen Slaughter, I'm doing it for all of her standalones and stuff. I have one more standalone to go through, and then we're going to do a whole video talking about each and every one, my opinions and stuff on them, spoilery and non-spoilery details, and I want to do that with Taylor Jenkins Reid, because I just enjoy these books so much, these 2 books. I also enjoy Seven Cousins of Hugo. It's just amazing. I mean, read it. If you've never read it before, you should totally read it. It makes you cry. The buy rep is amazing, and it's super good. Highly, highly, highly recommend. And thank you to Kate Kavanaugh for getting me to reread it, because your vlog was the reason why I picked it up again, and I was so impressed and so happy with it. So yeah, that's what I read in the month of May. I read a total of, let's go through this together. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 books in the month of May. Not bad, not too shabby. I did pretty good. I mean, a lot of people are like, I wish I could read 14 books in the month of May. April? It's April, guys. And then, yeah. So we'll have my May TBR going up, then we'll have a book writing video going up, and then we'll start the month. And yeah, alright, if you guys enjoyed this video, please make a big thumbs up. Don't forget to comment down below, hit the subscribe button. This was a mess, I'm sorry, but I'm not re-recording it. This is my time re-recording this video, and I don't feel like it, so. That's my opinion, and I'll see you all next time for another People video. I think if you guys have been around long enough, you know, my content is shaky at best sometimes, so. Yeah, alright, talk to you guys soon.